Alright, what's going on, guys? Little different setup today. I turned off the noise reduction because I don't like the way it like muffles my voice. So let me know what you think of the change in audio. I fooled with the compressor a little bit. I mean, this microphone's not great. This was a cheap Chinese microphone I bought. I put a pretty expensive capsule in it and some pretty expensive electronics, but I'm still not a fan of it. So eventually one of these days we'll go through. I got a box of microphone capsules and all kinds of stuff, and we're gonna build some microphones. We'll do A/B tests. We're gonna find out which microphone sounds the best. So with that being said, today we're gonna take a look at this drone. We're gonna take it apart, but before we take it apart, I want to go out and fly it. So I'm gonna take it out, gonna go fly it, and I'll edit some video footage together of me flying it, and then we'll come back here and we'll take it apart. So without further ado, let's go fly the drone. Alright guys, so first off, before we do anything, we gotta get our controller here. It's got a little pull out thing on the bottom here to attach your phone to, and you're gonna need to download an app. Where is it at? So it's called RC UFO. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's RC UFO. This whole thing here, just ignore that. It's got ads and stuff. You can click continue to the app, and it'll bring you into this little goofy looking app with a ad in the corner of it. But it has a little start button down there, so we'll have to attach this to the controller and we'll have to sync it up. So you turn the drone on. It's going to blink rapidly. You can go ahead and turn the controller on and it'll pair with the controller, but you still need to get it on the phone, you still need to go into your Wi-Fi settings. So you're going to go into Wi-Fi and you're going to click on Wi-Fi UFO, and it's going to connect to it, and of course your phone's going to say it's got no internet. So let's hit start. Alright, so I connected the drone's powered on, controller's powered on. As you guys can see, we're connected through Wi-Fi to the drone. You're going to have to connect to the Wi-Fi network. It says Wi-Fi-UFO- whatever the number is. Alright, so you can see the drone. You can see on my phone here that we got the app set up with the camera. So the first thing you're going to do is just hit this little up arrow here, and this is going to fly the drone up. Whoa, way too high, way too high, way too high, way too high, way too high. Oh shoot, it's going to get stuck in a tree. I have no idea why it flew that high. Let's try this again. There we go. Well, it doesn't want to fly very well today. It was flying great the other day. I don't know why it's not flying well right now. There we go. Now we're flying. For some reason it's not showing up on the screen. Let's try the app again. Well, it's not great. Let's see. Oh, battery came out. There we go. Alright, let's try this one more time. Now when you fly this thing, there's got to be like no wind. Alright, there we go. Now we're going. We're hovering really low. I'm trying to get it to fly higher, but it's not wanting to go higher. No? Alright, let's try this again. No, 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 no. No! Oh, you stupid thing. Yeah. I think I've had enough of this little drone. Alright. I had enough of this stupid little thing, so let's take it apart. Alright, guys. So yeah, so you could see that this drone was giving me some problems today. I took it out, tried flying it like 5 times, and I mean, the first day I flew it, it was flying really good. I even had it in a bunch of wind. It was having trouble like keeping, with the wind, so every time the wind would blow, it like keep wanting to fly into a car, and have to like hold the controller, to the right to keep it from like flying to the left. And anyway, I mean, I guess you get what you pay for. It was $10, but the fact that they can put this together for $10 is pretty cool. So I figured we would take it apart and, I don't know, let's see what's inside it. Okay, so let's start by grabbing a screwdriver here. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they can, put all this together for $10 is pretty impressive, even though, obviously it is built down to an absolute price, aka cheap. Let's start by taking a look at the controller. We're going to open up the controller and see what they got going on here, because I'm curious when when you put something together for this price, for $10 shipped, obviously, the molding of the plastic's not going to be high quality. The plastic's going to be pretty cheap. But the fact that they, can put in like the microcontrollers, the transmitters, the antennas, all that stuff, is pretty insane. So I'm curious, how cost down everything is. I mean, it's got to be like really, really pared down. So let's just pull this. So we got a PCB that's kind of stuck to the top shell there. All right, so we have a bunch of micro switches. So we have a bunch of little tiny micro switches here. We got 2 there, 3 in the bottom, 3 at each top there. And then we have these XY joysticks. So these would be analog. This would be like what you have on your Nintendo Switch. Of course, probably has stick drift over time. As far as identifying like branding, it just says CF. Yeah, it says like CF on it. And then right here, so on the front, we have ZYE88TX-4. And then this was built December 3rd, 2024. So at the end of last year. Not very much going on here, so that's what I thought. So we have our antenna, which is just routed into the PCB there. Let's pull this tape off. Alright, so yeah, just a very basic setup here. We have what looks to be like a microcontroller, maybe some kind of ROM, and a couple passives and a crystal. So let's take the microscope out and we're gonna pop a squiz at this circuit board. Alright, so kind of what I thought. The main chip here is not identifiable. I mean, it's what? It's, I don't know, some company. I mean, it's got to be a special made chip for this purpose. What did I get in my eyes? Sorry, I got crap in my eyes. But yeah, that's like, this is definitely a custom made chip for for this application, just to pump out like cheap drones. And then we have this other chip here. Man, that is really hard to read. CP2880T, I think it is. I don't know, can you guys see that? Let me try to get in on it just a little bit better here. So yeah, CP2830T it looks like. CP20, yeah, CP2830T. I'm sure I can look that up. I don't know if it'll come up with anything. And then we have looks like a 16 megahertz crystal there. We have a couple like power transistors. We got like one up there. We got one on the bottom there. Let's try to focus in a little better. We got a couple capacitors, couple resistors, just to, I'm sure to set like parameters, and like, you know, current for the transistors. So that way, you know, it's not pumping out like too much voltage or whatever for the chip. So anyway, why is this out of focus, dude? Like, come on, get in focus, you stupid piece of crap. All right, 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry, I had to beat my camera up, tell it who's boss. But yeah, so that's the controller. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty basic. And then these, so the drone, this is where the majority of the goods are gonna be, I'm assuming, because you have a camera that needs to stream back to your phone, so it has to provide an internet connection. It has to have like a codec for the video. It has to control the motors, so it's got some sort of, maybe not sensing, but it definitely has some sort of PWM or like voltage control for, you know, 4-way for each of the 4 motors. They are keyed, so the motor shafts are keyed, so each one's got its own little key there. The battery pack is pretty nifty, so it's its own little pack here. I took the tabs out just so I could check the battery because I wanted to make sure that it was not going to blow up in my house. But yeah, it's super basic. So we have looks like a 75 22 48 cell. It's 500 milliamp hours. So pretty basic cell. And then we have an LED. Looks like a USB-B connector. This little teeny like docking connector for the terminals in the drone. And then we have this little, looks like a little charge controller, a little protection circuit, because the battery itself does not appear to have any kind of protection. So the battery is not protected, so the protection would be on the circuit here on this board. So it's good. When you buy stuff like this, you know, no offense to China or whatever, because they're just trying to build it down to a price. But you know, safety is not the #1 concern, so always be super careful when it comes to lithium-ion batteries. Don't store them near anything flammable. If you have, what I like to do is like, you know, have a metal box or something handy. That way, if something did happen, there's nothing nearby that can catch fire. Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of toxic smoke. It's going to make a really big mess, but at least you're not going to lose your house. And that's like my #1 nightmare. So you better believe I make sure that I try to separate my lithium-ion batteries, make sure that they don't touch anything in the vicinity. Always try to keep them sequestered, you know, from other stuff. But yeah, so we got this little camera module here, just this little cheapy VGA. It's got to be like VGA resolution or something. I mean, you guys saw the video. You saw what it looks like. Not great, not bad. Plastics are all super cheap. So there's the top shell's off. And here's the brains of the operation. And again, it's got to be like built down to an absolute price. So we got a nondescript little microcontroller looking thing here. We have a little it's not a BGA package, it's like a flat pack. Oh, we got 2 boards. We got another board underneath. All right, so let's let's take these off. So each drone arm is connected to this main board here through these wires to provide power to the motors. So this would be the motor controller board, it looks like. So this one chip right here should all just be for motor controllers. It looks like there's wireless on this board too, so that might be the it'd be the motor controllers and the receiver for the controller, for like the antenna on the controller. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff on there. All right, let's see. How can we do this? So pull these LEDs out real quick. They're just wired in series. Oh, cool. There's a connector. Awesome. All right, so let's just take a quick look under the microscope. All right, what do we got? What do we got? So we got this little chip here. Again, no branding, nothing, you know, it doesn't even look like it had been sanded really. Then we have this little thing. That might be the motor driver. I have no idea, but it says SEE OD or SEE, yeah, 0D, something like that, 301. We have some unpopulated pads here, a bunch of unpopulated pads. We got a little push button here, that's for the power. And then we have all our terminals for the individual motors. We have our little antenna here, that's for our controller, for the receiver. That is not for the video. Okay, that's just for the controller itself to control the drone. So I assume this chip here is the receiver and the controller. And then we have, looks like maybe a ROM chip on the back there. So this might have the programming in it. We have two separate crystals. So that would be our receiver crystal to pair with our transmitter here. Because if you remember correctly, the transmitter had a 16 megahertz crystal and this one has a 16 megahertz crystal too. Then we have another can here. This might be some sort of like accelerometer gyro looking thing because it has a little port in it, a little hole. So, and then Wi-Fi there. So that looks like the power output for the Wi-Fi controller. But yeah, not much going on. So just a few passives. Looks like we got a ROM there. Our crystal oscillator for the controller for the wireless, and then we have some sort of chip that maybe tells it how to hover or something, which maybe goes hand in hand with this. You can look some of this stuff up. I might look it up later, but I just wanted to take it apart. And then we got some more passives on the top here. We got the little LED and stuff, so pretty basic. Let's before we get into the video and the Wi-Fi streaming aspect of it, let's get into the motors. I just want to take a look at one of these motors real quick. Let's open one of these up because I'm curious what kind of motors they're using. You know, for $10, motors I'm sure are pretty cheap, especially this size. But I am just curious what kind of motors they incorporated. Oh, shoot, there's another screw. Man, I'm gonna have so many screws. I don't think I'm gonna put this back together when I'm done with it. I think this is gonna be it for this little guy. So we got a little gearing system here. So it looks like a little gear there. So that would be susceptible to some kind of damage. There's a little bit of gobbledygook in there, and just a little nondescript motor here. Just a little teeny DC brushless motor. It looks like. I don't think there'd be brushes in here. Let's see. All right, so yeah, so that is the motor. Just a little tiny little motor. The terminals go directly into the back of the motor itself. So you see there, it just goes back into the motor. It's not really any branding. There is kind of a logo on the back side there. looks like a boat or something maybe. And then yeah, there's a gear and you got the grease and stuff everywhere. So pretty interesting, kind of cool. And yeah, it looks like there's even a little, maybe not a bearing, but like a bushing right there to kind of handle some of the stress of the motor. And then yeah, it's just held on with this little plastic here. So all right, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna put this back together real quick just so it's not in a bunch of pieces, and then we'll take a look at the Wi-Fi portion. All right, so now on to the like the Wi-Fi streaming portion that would stream to your phone. This is going to be a little weird because it looks like it's not, doesn't look like it's screwed together. It looks like it's clipped or like plastic welded. I don't know, let's just see if we can unsnap it somehow. There we go. When in doubt, just pop it out. Yeah, so we got this little teeny board here. This is really hard to see. So let's put it on the microscope real quick. Actually, let's pull the microscope up just a little bit so it's not like super in the way. All right, so we got, I don't know what kind of standard this is. I guess it's like SDI or something like that. If any of you guys know, just let me know. But yeah, so we got our little little like cell phone camera module here. We got the little ribbon cable for the data and all that. It goes into this little board. And then we have a chip here. This is gonna handle the wireless, the streaming. And it looks like this antenna is funky too. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it goes from coax and then they just like terminated it some funky way. All right, so if you want to make like a hidden spy cam, you can just take all the guts out of here for $10 and have a wireless spy cam. It's not going to be great quality, but yeah, let's see what kind of chip we got here. All right, so let's flip it around. We got KL9-908 CPSF8A, and then looks like another, so this would be like another ROM chip, MK25D40BTIG, so some sort of flash chip for the memory. And then we have our main processor here, so this is going to handle pretty much everything, I think, right? Yeah, there's nothing on the back. So yeah, this handles everything. So this does the decoding of the video signal and the compression, all that, and then it handles the transmitting. This is going to be like your power IC here to power everything, and yeah, just some passives. Got a little LED there just to let you know what mode it's in. And then on the back side, so we have our coax wire here. So that would be the signal, and then our ground, and then our 3 wires here. So I would imagine that they might be using all 3 of these wires, but so you got your positive, you got your ground, and then your TX would be your data. So maybe when the drone turns on, or when you hit the power button, it tells this to turn on, and that's probably all that one pin is doing. It just sends a signal saying, hey, wake up, and then that'll turn on the little camera here. So let's just open up this module real quick. I've opened up a million camera modules, but I'm just kind of curious to see if there is any branding on this. And it looks like there's not. Yeah, it's just a nondescript. So you can see here, let's just go back to the microscope one more time. And where are we at? So yeah, it is just a little tiny, whatever the tiniest resolution, like VGA is. There's nothing, no writing on the back. I mean, there might be something kind of under the sticker here, but it doesn't look like there's any writing. So So yeah, pretty interesting. So for $10, yeah, it's definitely built down to a price. I mean, I figured it was going to be built down to a price, but the fact that $10 shipped gets you a functioning toy. You get a lithium-ion battery, you get a camera, you get a wireless transmitter module, 4 motors, and then this little bespoke motor controller thing here. I mean, it's pretty neat. And then, of course, all the plastics and stuff. But yeah, I knew it was going to be cheap, but yeah, I was curious if they got it to that point where, it's like everything has its own, custom thing. Like it's all custom chips, custom manufactured chips, like purpose specific chips. Because you can do like off the shelf like jelly bean parts and stuff, but it's going to cost you more. Like if you're producing millions of these things or like hundreds of thousands of these things, it costs less money to make bespoke silicon that you can, use for like pennies on the dollar than taking multiple chips, that are jelly bean parts but cost, pennies on the dollar. So it's just easier for them to do it because whoever's making the the ICs for these drones, you can put them into any brand drone, any company. It could be a $10 drone, it could be a $50 drone, it could be a $100 drone. God forbid, that would be kind of a crappy thing to do. But and I'm sure there's levels to it. Of course, if you were to buy a like a $50 drone, you'd probably get paired up microcontroller, be a nicer microcontroller and all that stuff. But before I let you guys go, I have one last thing I want to take apart and I want to show you real quick. So you all remember this little GPS module thing that I bought off Aliexpress? I think this was like, I don't know, 5 or 10, no, it's like $5 or something like that. This thing is scary. This thing is crazy. If you're like if you got like a jealous ex or something, somebody that like wants to track you and find you, like this thing is nuts. So it's got a SIM card, so you just pop in a SIM card and you can get a data plan, download the Chinese app or whatever that's gonna hail the mothership. But then it's got the USB, and I thought the USB was maybe just to set it up or whatever, but no, it's got a built-in battery. Not only does it have a built-in battery, it's got a magnet, so you can just like slap it underneath somebody's car, like slap it to a car or something, or just slap it to whatever, throw it in somebody's bag or something without them noticing. And so you have this little magnet here on the back, little Neo magnet. It's got a little battery. Now I don't know how long the battery lasts for, but still, this is a tracker. Like this is to track people, most likely without their consent. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, and then this thing is like built down to a price too. So we got this little can on here. So we got the SIM card on one side, or the SIM slot on one side, a little LED, couple passives. This little pogo pin here is for the antenna, because the antenna is built into the shell here. It's just a little flex antenna with like some double-sided tape. And then everything is all done in this teeny little module here. It's just like because when I was Bluetooth modding my TK2 over here, I was looking at like Bluetooth modules, and they're the same thing. They're just super tiny, just like this. I mean, and if you like an ESP32, you get an ESP32, those things are super tiny too. So I mean, because the silicon is like super tiny. But yeah, so this thing right here, it says model H2260, and then of course it's got the serial number, and it's got some sort of ID tag there. I'm not sure what that's for, but of course I'm not going to use this to track anybody. I don't even think I'm going to set it up. I mean, I might plug it in just to see what the app and stuff looks like. Yeah, and then it looks like you got pins here too that tell what the USB is. So you got RxTX, positive, I don't know, it says BAT, and then ground. TP1, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff on there. But yeah, that just like, I bought this the other day and I was like, was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like, that's pretty cool. Let me open it up. And then I opened it up and I saw that there was a battery inside, and I was like, hold up. And then I saw that there was the magnet inside, and I was like, oh shoot. I was like, this is like an actual tracker. Like, you can actually track people with this. So anyway, so what's today's lesson? That China makes a lot of silicon for all kinds of purposes, and if you ever wonder why or how stuff is made for so cheap, it's because they manufacture the silicon, and it's like special, special made silicon for the application, whether it be like a little, Wi-Fi video transmitter, kind of thing, or whether it be a GPS tracker or, a little kind of drone thing. Yeah, I mean, they make everything, so pretty much nothing's off limits. So if you guys want to see me take a look at some more weird, cheap stuff like this, let me know, and I'll oblige. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Catch you guys later. See ya.